So I just saw the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and as a kid who grew up playing the Mario games and still does to this day, I have been a fan of Super Mario for a long time, and seeing this movie was one of the best experiences I have ever had. I want to give a big shout out to my cousins and my dad for taking me to this movie, because I got to see the movie 2 times. Okay, now I don't do reviews on movies in my YouTube channel, but because it's Mario and I enjoyed it, I thought I could tell y'all my thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Movie. And when the announcement of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I was just so hyped for the movie. Like, I would always be excited for every Nintendo Direct that they showed, because I knew that they would show footage for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. This video is spoiler free, so I won't say much about the film, but you should watch it if you haven't. I'm telling y'all, it's way better than what Nintendo had caused to become their biggest regret in 1993. Alright, I'll explain it. And disclaimer, I was not born in the 90s, nor did I grow up later that period. There was a movie made back in 1993. The movie was not a Super Mario movie. Not because it's live action, but this movie did not stay true to the actual video games. Believe it or not, even the actors who worked on the Mario movie back in 1993 hated doing this movie. I could go on about this movie, but I'm not going to. We've got real video game adaptation movies like Sonic the Hedgehog. The Super Mario Bros. Movie. Now, what did I think about the movie, and what can we expect our reactions to be like in all honesty? I loved it. It's a movie that you could rewatch and it wouldn't get boring at all. Well, if you enjoy Mario, or the movie itself at least. Now, do I think it's cinema? In my book, it's cinema. It's one of the best movies Illumination has produced. I'd say it's one of the best animated movie ever. And that is just my opinion. I'm sure y'all will enjoy is what I'm saying. But as for the score itself, well, the score for Rotten Tomatoes is a 56. I was expecting the score to be way higher than I expected to be. But I have to say, the Rotten Tomatoes doesn't really matter because this movie definitely has a chance of winning an Oscar. This movie has a low score on Rotten Tomatoes in the 2 Sonic the Hedgehog movies. If the Rotten Tomatoes think that Sonic the Hedgehog is a good movie, why not Super Mario? At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Sonic the Hedgehog 3 receives a higher score than this movie, or even the 2 Sonic the Hedgehog movies, which is another movie I'm definitely going to see because Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is about to introduce one of my favorite Sonic characters. It's mostly the critics that rate the movies, and let's just say they've got no taste on what a real video game adaptation is, except for the critics that praise the movie. I applaud to them. And what I think should be more focused on is the audience score, and boy do I wish it was the same amount as the Rotten Tomatoes score, because this movie received a 96, and that's a good thing because what that means is that the audience love it, and that is what the movie is. It's full of enjoyment. Honestly, this should have been the reason for you to watch the movie, and there are other movies out there that have also received low scores on Rotten Tomatoes, and yet they are still amazing. Like Venom is one of my favorite movie, Good Burger is one of my favorite movie, and many more, unless if it's Morbin time. And you know what? If this movie doesn't get nominated at the Oscars for Best Animated Feature, then I hope Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse does. And that is another movie I am excited to see as well. But in general, the movie is kind of like what you expect it to be, except it has a different setting than what you normally see in a Mario game, or even the Mario movie trailers itself. The movie is what I would say is pretty good. Now, the movie isn't exactly like an Avengers Endgame level, but it's like a movie that you would enjoy most with your family and friends. And that is what the movie is about. It's full of enjoyment. You're seeing your favorite Mario characters in the big screen. Well, almost every Mario character. We'll get into that. But overall, the movie, I enjoyed it so much. Okay, so what is the movie like in general? In the Mario movie, the story is kind of like what you expect it to be. Mario, Peach, and Toad rescuing Luigi, and Bowser trying to retrieve the Power Star. However, this movie does in fact focus on what the main idea of the movie is about. It's way different than what you expect from the Mario games. You see, most video game adaptation movies like to change up a few things, so it fits more into the movies or a show, and that is completely fine. Not everything has to be based on the video games itself. But in this movie, there are also some scenes that kind of felt too short. An example of that, some scenes that were in the trailer were cut short or even changed. And it's fine for movies to cut out scenes that were shot in the movie, but I can't imagine for the animators who worked on those scenes that ended up getting cut. You'd expect more than what you see in the trailer, but in this movie, it goes straight to the plot without any focuses to the background. I mean, it should have been suspected that this movie was an hour and a half. So, if you have any high expectation for any particular thing that you hope to see in the movie, well, you might want to tone it down. Just saying. Now, as for the actors itself, you know, the actors everyone has been talking about.
It's a Mario.
Chris Pratt. Most people weren't too sure about his role as Mario. Some liked it, some hated it. But for me, I liked his acting on Mario. I have never had one problem with Chris Pratt voicing Mario in the first place. And sure, most of you can agree that he doesn't deliver the exact role and what you expect from Mario to actually sound like, but I ain't got no problem with Chris Pratt. He actually gives on what you expect from Mario. Overall, I rate Chris Pratt's voicing of Mario a 10 out of 10. Most of you will disagree on that, but it's just my opinion, okay? As for the others, Jack Black as Bowser, I knew he was a perfect role for the Mario movie. I mean, come on, it's Jack Black. It's like if he was meant to play as Bowser. Even if it sounds goofy, Jack Black's Bowser is a win. Charlie Day as Luigi fitted more than what I expected to be. His voice as Luigi is just too relatable. He does deliver the same role as what Luigi does in the video games. Charlie Day was just a perfect casting for Luigi. I liked his acting. Anya Taylor-Joy's role as Princess Peach was just marvelous. You see, Peach in the movie was way different than the Peach from the video games. You can just tell that Peach is fearless and very protective of her kingdom, rather than getting kidnapped. And I think it's a perfect role for Peach. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Toad is one of the best Mario characters out there, and having Keegan-Michael Key voice Toad was just perfect. He gave Toad so many personalities that could definitely fit into the games. And Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong? I mean, it's Seth Rogen, it's an automatic enjoyment. Overall, the cast of the Super Mario Bros. Movie is by far great. Everybody's acting to their characters was good, I enjoyed it. I barely had a problem with any of the voice acting from the actors. This movie had the best cast choicing. The visual in the movie is just something we needed in a Mario game. I know Illumination was the one that did the movie, but I hope we get to see the exact same visual in a Mario game. The music in this movie was just by far amazing. They went all out for the Mario movie. Brian Tylor's score for the movie was just fantastic to hear. And has anybody ever noticed that the whole movie was directed by the Teen Titans Go creators? Neither was I expecting that, and yet it came out so wonderful. So in conclusion, no matter what is your opinion or your thoughts on the Mario movie, I think you will enjoy the movie, you will love every moment of it, and this movie has broken records for becoming the highest grossing animated feature film of all time, surpassing Frozen 2 based on a video game. And that is my review on the Mario movie. It is a damn masterpiece, and I hope you all enjoy it. Thanks for watching.